This day would never arrive, they vowed. The receipts will remain hidden, they vowed. But the stillness is broken tonight. The walls are falling apart, and Jim Jones has dropped the kind of bombshell that nobody was ready to hear, not even Chrissy or her alleged hubby. Raw video, audio so sharp it cuts like a knife, and leaked receipts. And the sinister mystery at its core. It's more damning, heavier, and ugly than anything this industry has seen in a long time. This goes beyond mere rumors. It's not just drama. This betrayal was captured in 4K and is so profoundly revealed that it is tearing apart a brand, a family, and a brotherhood that was meant to endure forever. Jim didn't allude to this in a mysterious post or whisper it in a quiet room. He recorded it so that everyone could see it, and it's not even covered by the fallout explosion. The receipts reveal covert meetings and money trails. Fans were surprised to learn that some names were involved in this controversy. And there's no denying the way Jim drops it with that distinctive venom. Chrissy's man is apprehended, positioned, and humiliated in front of others. However, this is the query that is currently consuming all timelines. Why now? Why did Jim keep these secrets to himself for so long? And why is he destroying everything at this precise moment? Because of what you're going to hear next. Stay right here. We'll completely upend the sector. This was not what the internet was prepared for. Fans awoke to a leaked video that quickly went viral. Jim Jones can be seen walking like a man possessed, brandishing papers in his palm, and his voice quivering with anger in a grainy Backstage video. Initially, nobody was aware of what was taking place. The video only showed Jim yelling at someone, off camera. It lacked any background information or a caption. But captions appeared in a matter of minutes. He's referring to Chrissy's spouse. There are receipts for it. This isn't just beef. Exposure is what this is. Then everything became upside down. Music was not the subject of Jim Jones's tirade. Old Dipset drama was not what he was discussing. He was dragging and holding contracts, money transfers, paperwork, and screenshots. Like a felon on trial, Chrissy's man is in front of the world. His remarks resembled gunshots. You believed no one was aware. You believed you could conceal it. No, it's finished. Waves of shock were instantaneous. The footage amassed hundreds of fans analyzed every second of the thousands of views in hours, slowing down the audio and improving the paper trail. When Jim gestured to the camera, they saw something darker than they had anticipated. Jim claims that Chrissy's spouse wasn't just caught in the act. He apparently has ties to names that have been spoken in hushed tones, backroom payments, and dubious deals. Tones. For years, Jim named names in the industry that no one ever imagined would be brought up. The receipts, executives, artists, and promoters. They weren't only unspecific charges, they included precise dates, sums, and lines of dialogue transcription. For the cue. Fans were shocked by one screenshot in particular, which showed a chat conversation between Chrissy's boyfriend and a promoter regarding Jim not being informed. This was more than love and betrayal. It was sabotage of business. In the recording that was leaked, Jim personally mentioned it. You believed. I wouldn't discover your attempt to tamper with my pockets. You see, though, everything that is black eventually comes to light. Anger splintered his voice, due to the breach of trust as well as financial gain. To Jim, contracts were not at issue here. It has to do with family. Additionally, the way he said, "You crossed the queue when you crossed me," chilled every fan in the room. Social media went viral right away. The receipts screenshots went viral on Twitter. In order to piece together the time frame, TikTok creators created breakdown videos. Chrissy found herself caught in the midst of a maelstrom when Instagram bloggers shared videos with descriptions like, "Jim finally had enough." The question is all over the place. Why didn't Chrissy speak up if she knew? Did she keep her lover safe while was he giving Jim a backstab wound? Or like everyone else, was she caught off guard? There were murmurs that this was not an unexpected eruption. Details of the evening were leaked by insiders. It all came to a boil. One staff member who wished to remain anonymous claimed that the altercation began. Jim found out about a deal he had been banking on after a show. Inexplicably, a big endorsement deal with a high-end company had fallen through. Before someone backstage slipped Jim an envelope inside, Jim assumed it was bad luck. Copies of records that connect Chrissy's spouse to the same company, negotiating clandestine deals in return for Jim's dismissal. That was the last straw. The leaked footage began when Jim barged into the changing area while the cameras were inadvertently still rolling. His expression was one of blatant treachery. One man who understood for years, someone he believed, to be family had been plotting against him, and fans made the connections when the video was posted online. Jim appeared resentful in previous interviews, slight shading between Dipset members and past cryptic tweets. All of a sudden it made obvious. The plot takes a darker turn at this point though. Jim was holding receipts for more than one transaction. They were a part of a trend, he said in his tirade, made repeated attempts to deny him employment, chances and money. Additionally, chances, labor, credibility, and Chrissy's partner, who's planning it all. While attempting to delete me, Jim yelled, "You've been eating off my name." There was no mistaking the anger in his voice. Fans were incredulous. Was there jealousy here? Was Jim going overboard? Or had Chrissy's hubby actually been secretly planning for years? Timelines were torn apart in the dispute. Jim had every right to finally speak the truth, according to those who supported him. Others questioned why he held off on dropping everything. Then came the unexpected leaks. One fan wrote on camera, "If Jim had these receipts all along, what else is he hiding?" Another responded, "He protected Chrissy for too long, but loyalty only goes so far." After the video became viral, within a few hours, audio recordings that supported Jim's assertions started to be made public by unidentified sources. In one, there was a voice that sounded uncannily similar to Chrissy's spouse, laughing with another man about not telling Jim. The tone of the muffled, scratchy tape was unmistakably arrogant. Fans kept playing it over and over again, contrasting it with previous Chrissy's Guy interviews. The voice matched the swearing. He is 100% responsible. It's undeniable. One comment went viral. Chrissy, meanwhile, said nothing. She didn't share anything. She remained silent. She did not stand up for her man. And that quiet said a lot. Fans saw it as damage control, astonishment, and guilt. Insiders, however, say she was crying behind the scenes because she couldn't decide between the man she loved and the one who had supported her for years. She was also betrayed, not only Jim as well. The tension increased when Jim apparently threatened to reveal further tape, and Spice, who had been close to both, allegedly texted someone after seeing the recording saying, "This is too much. I can't believe what I just heard. If you believe this to be terrible," on camera, he growled. "Hold off till the next one appears. I have files that will change how the entire city views him." Social media was rocked by that one sentence. What else did Jim have in his receipt stash? What was the extent of the betrayal? There was a noticeable sense of anxiety throughout the sector. There were rumors that several well-known people were frantically calling because they were afraid their identities would be in those files. Bloggers hinted that Chrissy's husband wasn't the only person involved. This concerned a web of dubious transactions that had the potential to embarrass half the city. Additionally, Jim. At last, fed up with stillness, I was prepared to set everything on fire. Everyone was on edge because of the cliffhanger. Would Jim really make the upcoming set of receipts available? Was this merely a warning shot, though? Who else would be exposed in the aftermath if he did? The tale didn't just become viral on the internet. It took off. By morning, even political topics were being overshadowed by hot hashtags like Miger Jimks exposes and Aga Chrissy caught up. Every gossip page, every blog. Jim's leaked receipts were being examined by a free hip-hop discussion site as if they were FBI case files. They circled the contract numbers and slowed down the video. The audio tape purportedly capturing Chrissy's husband boasting about not telling Jim anything was analyzed by speech experts after Jim flashed. According to the consensus, there was an unpleasant odor. Chrissy's quiet wasn't being tolerated by the streets either. Fans flocked to her. Instagram comments that need responses. "Why don't you say anything? Chrissy, say anything. This is untrue." Clap back. But she didn't post anything to defend her spouse. Just silence. No story, no selfie, no statement. Furthermore, in the realm of rappers and reality TV stars, quiet speaks louder than words. Jim, however, was not finished. He went live once more a few hours after the initial video was leaked. He held up his phone like it, calmer but deadlier this time. Jim claimed it was a weapon. Then the most unexpected turn of events occurred. Online, leaked text messages were discovered, allegedly between a well-known promoter and Chrissy's husband. The exchange appeared incriminating. Talks concerning money divides, dubious rewards, and recurring references to excluding Jim. Fans went into a frenzy over one cue in particular. We take charge of the luggage once he leaves. Really? Everything fans believed to be true about Chrissy's marriage may be destroyed by just one message. However, the kicker is here. There were cropped bubbles that might have appeared anywhere in the screenshots, but there were no timestamps or contact names visible. The internet didn't care though. The story was established. Chrissy's partner was at fault. Instantly, Twitter Spaces appeared with thousands of listeners arguing on what was true. Jim was finally revealing a snake that had been surviving on his shine, according to some. Some claimed this was all a setup, a last-ditch effort to attract attention during a period of poor professional performance. Then a startling voice came into the conversation. Yandy's man Mendez. He added, "Y'all don't know the half of it. This been going on for years, Jim ain't lying." That one statement completely upended the internet during a live conversation. It was confirmed by someone close to Jim and Chrissy's social circle. Perhaps the smoke was indeed fire. It has a vicious cascade effect. In a day, memes were all over the place. The scammer husband was being played as Craze's spouse. He boasted about business moves in old clips that have now been distorted to show dubious transactions. Even more prominent A-list stars started weighing in. 50 Cent never wants to pass up a chance. Said, "Damn it. Always be your own people. LOL." Cardi B liked a tweet that made fun of Chrissy's husband, leading to rumors that she also thought the spice and receipts. "This is why I don't trust anybody in this industry," she said live, shaking her head, implying that loyalty no longer exists. Then came the most startling action of all, a mysterious message from Cameron Jim's longtime brother, who is now his competition. One post blasted the story wide open with a phrase that said, "Receipts don't lie. Y'all better start telling the truth before more leaks come out." Jim was being co-signed by Cam. Then perhaps this controversy was more serious than fans had thought. Did Cam imply that he had receipts too? Was Chrissy's husband involved in a larger conspiracy against Jim? Bloggers began referring to the frenzied speculation as the receipt war. Then the phone call was revealed. Audio of a man, purportedly Chrissy's husband, pleading with someone not to drop the files was posted by a gossip website. Desperation cracked in his voice. "You're not understanding. I'm done if this gets out. Everything I created is gone." The internet immediately connected it to Jim's threat of revealing the main course. Was Jim clinging to a darker secret even? Something so damaging that Chrissy's husband feared it would come to light. Chrissy was unable to remain silent any longer by this point. At last, she shared a black screen image on Instagram, along with the caption, "Don't believe everything you see." The spread of lies outpaced that of truth. However, the harm had already been done. Fans bombarded the comment section, accusing her of sheltering her lover, calling her post weak, and requesting to hear her side of the tale. Some even said they no longer respected her and unfollowed her. The retaliation was swift and brutal. However, insiders said Chrissy was having a breakdown behind the scenes. She reportedly yelled at her husband in private for entangling her, in a scandal that made her appear foolish on national blogs. A quote from their debate was leaked by one insider. "You allowed me to be humiliated. You allow him to demolish what we constructed. For what purpose? You didn't even keep the bag." According to the rumor, Chrissy was upset, ashamed, and possibly even prepared to leave. Jim doubled down in the meantime. "Y'all think he's dirty? Wait," he taunted supporters on another Instagram live. It was a terrifying insinuation. Was Jim implying that Chrissy's husband was involved in something illegal? Something more sinister than financial betrayal? Until you hear what else I have. This dude ain't just messing with money, he's messing with lives. The final straw of the evening was when an unknown account dropped what they dubbed the second folder, which had blurred photographs of documents, partial bank records, and other hypotheses about drugs, fraud, and even connections to dangerous people. Chrissy's husband was clearly not playing both sides, as seen by the transfers and one startling picture of him dining in a restaurant with a CEO, whom Jim had publicly accused of blackballing years prior. He had supposedly been working with Jim's adversaries all along. The internet questioned, argued, and gasped. But one thing was certain: the receipts were growing darker by the hour. Jim's last statement of the evening was then captured on tape. "If y'all think this is over, you ain't seen nothing yet," he remarked, his voice low and icy as he stared straight into the lens. "The truth is revealed tomorrow. Careers will end as a result. People's reputations will burn. Families will disintegrate. The cliffhanger was nuclear, I promise." What did Jim's subsequent drop contain? Would Chrissy ultimately leave her partner in order to defend herself? What was the extent of this betrayal? The internet awoke the morning following Jim's terrifying threat as if it had been struck by an earthquake. The second drop was here, and notifications spread like wildfire. Not only was it disorganized, but it was also disastrous. A video was uploaded on Jim Jones's official page. Enough to stop the world, yet not too long or ostentatious. It captured Chrissy's husband speaking to two men on camera in a poorly lit back room, whose faces were indistinct. His words came out of his mouth like poison, and his voice was unmistakable. "We're good as long as Jim doesn't receive that deal. Keep him in a box. He no longer needs to eat from this city." That single line exploded, similar to a bomb. Fans questioned why Jim was consistently passed up for sponsorships for years. Others in his path were receiving TV opportunities and major shows. Now the whole story changed with a single video. Was Jim's black-balled status due to Chrissy's husband? Large-scale financial transactions? Was he posing as relatives and ruining Jim's career? Twitter completely collapsed. A user cried out, "Yo, this man was holding Jim back the whole time. Worse than betrayal. That's sabotage." Another user added, "Chrissy knew. There is no possibility that she was unaware of it." Suddenly, Chrissy was not merely a victim of the drama. Rather, she was portrayed as participating. The blogs gained momentum, with gossip sites publishing headlines such as "Did Chrissy's husband covertly ruin Jim Jones's career?" Industry insiders jumped in, murmuring that this explains so much as YouTube was inundated with reaction films analyzing the clip. One publication quoted an unidentified former executive as saying, "There were always whispers about why Jim wasn't being booked for certain tours." Deals reportedly fell through at the final moment. Jim's second folder included screenshots of wire transfers, showing